What's up guys, it's Kato with Knox Prestige Detailing, and today we're going to be going over the WD4070 Shop Vac by Ridgid. Now this unit is a 5 horsepower, 4 gallon unit, so it's perfect for mobile detailers for size wise, but we're going to jump into some tests and check out the features to see how it really performs. Alright guys, let's jump into the unboxing and see what the Ridgid unboxing experience is like. Looks like first off on top we have the vacuum bag. This is a great addition by Ridgid. Even though it's not a necessary item, it does make emptying the vacuum much easier and way less messy. Next up, it looks like we have the hose. First, grabbing the hose, it feels quite sturdy but also flexible. So that's perfect for detailing. It makes it easier to work around seats and center consoles and hard to reach areas where you need a flexible hose. The end swivels very nicely, which is great. That'll keep the hose from tangling. Also, the locking end swivels, so that's a great addition by Ridgid. Next, we have the 2 extensions. These are great for cleaning RVs and boats so that you don't have to bend down or reach high, which can cause back pain. Next, we have a larger crevice tool. Let's see if I can find that. There it is. It's right down there. This is a little larger than what I would have liked to seen from Ridgid. For a crevice tool that's included with the vacuum, you can purchase a smaller one, but I'm sure it's useful for covering larger areas. Next we will have, I think there's a larger surface tool. Yep, there it is. And that is great for vacuuming floor mats and floorboards. So that was a good addition. Now let's see if we can get the vacuum out of here and put the box down there. The cord does feel nice. It feels like there's a nice thick layer of rubber around the wires, so that's good. That should be a long-lasting cord. I think it's about 25 feet, so that's a great length for auto detailing, especially like mobile detailing. Let's see, inside the bucket it looks like we have some instructions on filter replacement. So that's good to know. It does come with a filter, but eventually you will have to replace the filter. And it also comes with the Ridgid Shop Vac Owner's Manual. So we'll have to look through that and see if we can find any interesting features that we don't already know about. While I was picking up the vacuum, I also picked up a crevice tool and brush attachment for this specific vacuum. It was only about $12 at Home Depot, and that's also the cheapest place I found for the vacuum. Let's get the brush out here and check that out. It feels like it has pretty soft fibers, so that'll be great for vacuuming buttons and switches and vents, things like that. Now let's look at the crevice tool. It seems to be a good sized crevice tool. It's nice and long but also narrow, so you're able to get back in the places that you need to. It's also going to create quite a bit of suction because of how narrow it is. So I'd really recommend picking these up while you're picking up the vacuum as well. So for me personally, when I'm purchasing like a vacuum or products for my business, I want to make sure that the price is right because I want to keep my business as profitable as possible, but I also want to make sure I'm getting a good machine. So the price on this unit from Home Depot was $79.97, so about $80, which isn't terrible for a vacuum, but we're going to test out the value to see how the price lines up with its performance. So one of the tests I'm most excited to do is the blower test. I want to see how well this unit can blow water off the painted surface of a car and also windows and wheels and all that. So we're going to put that to the test. This is really important because many detailers will spend, hundreds of dollars on a blower to blow off a car. And I think that this tool could be very effective for doing that, and you won't have to spend, an extra $200-300 to buy a blower. Wow guys, this is working way better than I thought it would. Now I will say this car does have Griot's 3-in-1 ceramic wax on it, but it was also applied about 4 to 5 weeks ago, so it isn't a fresh coat. And this blower really is just blowing the water off. There is a slight sag to it, but that's expected whenever there's not a fresh coat of wax. So this is just amazing, and wow, it feels dry. So one of the other things I wanted to test was how well it handled blowing water out of door handles and cracks on the car.
because that's one of the number one things that I use the blower for day to day whenever I'm detailing. And wow, it handled it great. As you see, it just blew the water right out of those cracks. You can see the slow motion video as it just pushes the water out of those. Now that's going to prevent dripping later on, so that you don't have to go back with an exterior detailer and wipe those drips up. It also just pushes the water down the panel, as you can see on the slow-mo, how nicely it just pushes the water away. Alright, now I want to see how the blower does on a little bit of trim and some glass as well. I found a pretty good angle here where we can see both. So let's get the air on there, and oh my gosh, it's just blowing the water right off that trim and it just turns bone dry. Guys, I can't believe this tool. This is amazing. It's perfect for mobile detailing because not only do you have a vacuum, but you have your blower, so you're not having to pack two tools in the car, and especially for people that are trying to save space that aren't mobile detailing in a large van. I actually do mobile detailing out of the back of my sedan, and I'm able to bring every tool that I need inside of that, so this is amazing for me.
The next test we have set up is a suction test. I have a car floor mat right here, and what I did was I put some flour in it and kind of worked the flour into the fibers a little bit, and we're going to see how well this vacuum picks up the flour out of this carpet.
Wow, check that out. This vacuum's doing a great job of picking up that flour. Flour usually, I use it to simulate that fine dust that you'll find in carpets because it's a little more visible especially on a black carpet. And it's just doing an amazing job. As you can see, it did leave behind a few patches there. That's expected, and after a few passes with the shampooer and extractor, there should be no problem with those. They'll come right up. The next test I want to try is a daily driving test to see how well it handles dirt from a daily driven car. So we're going to jump into that next and see how it does. So obviously I've sped this video up quite a bit. It did take quite some time to get this one section vacuumed, but it wasn't because the vacuum wasn't picking it up. The fibers in this carpet were just so matted down. So I think after a quick pass with the steamer to kind of loosen those fibers up, and then going back with the vacuum, I think that the rest of the dirt that's within those fibers will come right up, no problem at all. A lot of y'all are probably wondering why I haven't switched to the larger crevice tool to cover more area quickly. And usually I don't when I'm detailing. Honestly, this tool and the brush tool are usually what I use the whole time. I will use the larger crevice tool if I'm doing like a trunk or a larger area, but this is just such a versatile tool because you can get back in the crevices and whatnot without having to switch in back and forth between attachments, so that's really nice. Now here in a second we're going to jump into some more interesting tests. One of them is pretty scientific, more measurable, and the other one's just kind of for fun. But it will still showcase the performance of this vacuum.
Alright, the next two tests I have a black nitrile glove here that we're going to stick over the end of the shop vac hose and turn on the blower and see how it does blowing up the glove. See if the pressure of the glove kind of pushing the air back affects the shop vac. And then I also have right here, if you can see, 20 ounces of water. And we're going to see how well it handles sucking up 20 ounces of water. So let's jump into it. All right, so we're gonna just take the hose like so, put the glove over it. I'm gonna hold right here, and then we're gonna flick it on and see how it does. Wow, and that popped super quick. This vacuum really has some power. As you can see, it just ripped a hole right through there. I don't know if you could see that, but that was insane, insanely fast. Now the next test we have is the 20 ounces of water. We're gonna set the camera down a little bit lower for that. For our next test, we have 20 ounces of water. Let's see if you can see that right there, 20 ounces. So we're going to set that right here, and we're going to get the shop vac up to full speed, and then we'll stick the hose down in there and see how well it handles the water. Wow, that was quick. Now you can see all the water and the dirt that we've sucked up is down in there. And the majority of it made it through the hose, so there's not really anything, if you look right here, there's not a whole lot shaken out. So most of it did make it in there, so that just shows that the true suction power of this vacuum is incredible.